Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video on my channel. So 1 year ago I graduated from college and I moved out to live on my own. Not only that, but I actually moved halfway across the country from where my family lives. And this year has been full of so many ups and downs in terms of my mood, my energy, my health, the things that I care about, the things I don't care about, my friends, my ability to make plans, just all of it. I have learned so much this year. So today I wanted to talk about the top 10 lessons that I learned during my first year post-grad. I hope that anybody who is a recent graduate will find this video useful in terms of things that I learned this past year, and if you, like me, have been graduated for a while, then if you have any more advice, leave it below, but hopefully you can still relate to some of these things that I've learned. Also, hi, if you're new here, my name's Zoe, I'm 23, I live in the New York City area, and I'm just trying to figure out my life in my 20s, so if you're curious about seeing some more content on that, then make sure to subscribe to stick around. With that, let's just hop right in. Lesson number one, the by far biggest thing that I learned about myself this year is that I was not made to live alone at this point in my life. To be honest, this did not come as a shock to me. I haven't really pointed out a ton the fact that I live alone on this channel because of the fact that I live alone. It's coming to an end, luckily for me. There are many reasons why I personally don't think that living alone is for me. I have been quite lonely this past year. I found it really hard to make friends and plans the way that I am used to. I'm not really around a lot of stuff to do where I pick to live. So there's lots of lessons learned in that sense. Granted, I love having my own space, I love being in charge of it and decorating it and not having to worry about other people, but it is just quite simply something that I cannot wait to be over. Just for my own mental health, this was not the right option for me, but I think that it has forced me to learn a lot of things about myself, a lot of things about my priorities, and you know, I'm never gonna say that I regret something in my life because I don't. I think you always have to just be thankful for where you are at in the present moment, but I am very glad that the whole living alone thing is coming to an end. The second lesson is that you are the only one responsible for your health and your well-being. I'm very lucky. I have a lot of support from my parents. I have friends who check in on me who are great. I have a job with good healthcare, health insurance, but you are the only one who can take yourself to a doctor, who can take yourself to a hairstylist, who can take yourself to a dentist, all of these things that you have to do in order to be a healthy, functioning human being. And at the end of the day, taking yourself to those things, even when it's hard, especially if you're in a new place like me, you don't really know anyone, you can't really get recommendations, you just kind of have to pick somewhere and go. That can be really hard. There is definitely something nice though about starting in a new spot, going and just like being brand new, getting to know an area, getting to know new people, but it's also hard. Along these same lines, you are also the only one who can speak up for yourself. Nobody else is gonna do that for you. People will take advantage of you if you don't speak up. So if you have a thought or a question or something that you need to know, something that doesn't sit right with you, bring it to somebody's attention. Don't just let it sit there and simmer and say, oh, it's fine, because you're the one who's gonna get taken advantage of in the end. The third lesson, and this may come as a shock, as I said, I moved out immediately after I graduated college. I graduated in May, I went to Europe for a month, and then I moved out in July. But if there's anything that I've learned, it is that it is completely normal to move back in with your parents when you graduate from school, and it's obviously probably a very good choice. From a financial perspective, from a social perspective, just from a settling into a new type of life perspective, being around your parents, I don't know why there's so much stigma about it because it's so healthy and it's so normal. Take advantage of it if you can. The majority of my friends did actually move home. I was the only one, really, of my friends who moved out immediately. Like, I'm not even kidding. I think that I have maybe two other friends, not even just friends, like 2 other people who I interacted with on a regular basis who actually moved out as soon as they graduated from college. And something to remember there too is everybody is on their own path and everybody is just trying to figure out what the right next move for them is. And everybody is going to go about a different way to figure that out. The next lesson is that having a 9-to-5 is exhausting. It can be really cool. It's a great gig to have. It's stable, it's straightforward, it's reliable, but it's tiring. There are going to be days where you're working and things are really, really fast and you don't feel like the 9-to-5 is long enough and you may even work overtime. And there are going to be days where you're sitting there at 10 a.m. and you've done everything that you need to do that day. It really is just filled with ups and downs, and it's up to you to figure out how you want to manage those. How do you want to structure your days when you're busy so that you can still enjoy the time that you have off and make sure that you get everything done? On a day when you don't have a lot going on, how can you learn more? How can you be more productive? How can you use that time that you're being paid to work to help you progress on the days where you do have a lot more work? But with a 9-to-5 and just not being on a school timeline, getting to pick the days that you want to have off is such a game changer. I feel like I have so much control over my life now compared to whenever I was in school because I don't have to operate on anybody else's schedule. Obviously, this might change depending on the kind of field that you're working in. I'm very lucky that I have a job where I can take off basically whenever I want, granted, like within reason and within the number of days I've been given, but that's huge. But obviously with great power comes great responsibility, so making sure that I'm using those days in such a way that I am getting the refreshing vacation or the time off that I need is also very important. Also on the job front, there are going to be people who make the job their entire lives, and there are going to be people on the complete opposite end of the spectrum who do very little in their job. It's up to you to figure out where on that spectrum you want to fall. How much do you value your work-life balance? Are you working to live? Are you living to work? Are you somewhere in the middle? What are your goals in your career? Are you happy to stay in a position that you get hired into for a long period of time and just do that work and keep that sustaining? Or do you want to rise up through the ranks because it changes the way that your work ethic is going to be and the kind of energy that you put into your job? And I think that I'm seeing people across this spectrum. It's just very interesting, and you just have to think about where you want to be and where you eventually want to be. But luckily, nothing is ever permanent and you can always switch up whenever you want. But also, you are the only one, again, you're the only one responsible for you. You're not being graded the same way that you were in school, and you have to figure out ways to push yourself. Honestly, you guys, not getting graded is a tough one for me because I was always very motivated by grades. And so now I kind of have to motivate myself in a different way because you might get ranked at your job or you might get some kind of assessment, but it's not the same way that you would get assessed when you're in school, you know? So you kind of have to be the one assigning the value of your work to yourself and your job and what kind of effort that you want to put in and what your best effort looks like. And sometimes that's not going to be enough, and that's scary. Hopefully in the long run it'll pay off, but I've only been working a year, so. And so far so good. I feel like I'm being a little bit negative in parts of this video, I swear. It's great. I actually love my job. It's great. As I mentioned before, everyone is going on their own path, and unfortunately that means that you may lose some friends, and they may make decisions that you don't agree with, and you may make decisions that they don't agree with, and maybe that just means that you guys aren't as close as you thought. As I said before, everyone is on their own path. You're on your own path. Your friends are on their own paths, and those paths might not cross as much as they used to, and they may completely diverge from each other. You may have people who you thought you'd be really close friends with for a long time that you're not close friends with anymore, and that can be really difficult. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. If you are putting in the time and effort into a friendship and you're not getting it back, a big thing that I have learned this year is You can be angry about it, you can be upset about it, and you can stop putting in effort, but if one day they turn around and they start putting in that effort, there is no reason why you should not also put that effort in, if that's what you wanted in the beginning in the first place. People have their own things going on in their life, and as opposed to college, you're not going to be right there to experience it with them or to fully understand what's going on. And I think you just need to approach everything with an open mind. There's going to be people that you lose as friends that you disagree with, and that's okay too. Don't hold a grudge, don't get angry. Life is too short to be angry, as cheesy as it sounds, it's true. You are also going to meet new people, and your new friends are going to be different than your old friends, and that is a great thing. Having a variety of friends and people to be around just opens your horizons even more, and your opportunities and your experiences. I have met some great people over the course of my first year being post-grad, some friends who I really think that I could be friends with for a very long time and just as close with as my college friends. And I have to say, that was something I was nervous about coming out of college, because it's hard to make friends the older you are. You need to put yourself, though, in positions to make those friends. It doesn't just come like that. Hopefully you'll get to meet people in whatever job that you're in, but if you're in a new place, you have to go out of your way to make friends. But generally, most people also want to make friends. Finances are a game, and everybody has their own opinion on them. You need to be smart with your money, understand your spending habits, your tendencies, and make decisions that align with your end goals. You should be rewarding yourself for the work that you are putting in, hopefully the money that you are making. You deserve that. But simultaneously, hopefully you're probably making more money than you did when you were in college, and we want to be smart about that. Put that money aside for retirement, get some credit cards, get working on your credit score, and start understanding what your long-term goals are going to be. You don't have to have them ready and waiting to go right away by any means. Take your time to figure those things out and get started on them, because the sooner you start getting things going from a financial perspective, the more money that you're going to have in the future. If you want more information on that, I do have a video all about like starting your financial journey, like finance for beginners, that kind of thing. I have a couple videos, so make sure to go check those out. And finally, you are in total control of your life, probably for the first time ever. You are not run by the school that you go to. You maybe, hopefully, you have some connections with your parents still, but when it comes down to it, you could up and you can move to a foreign country tomorrow. You could hop on a plane and not return. You could go purchase a house if you wanted to. You could take out a loan and go to grad school. You have so many options, and I can't help but feel like those of us who have grown up in this society where you are in school, K through 12th grade, and then you go to college, like for the first time in your life, the path isn't laid out for you, and you have to figure out what's gonna come next. And that is absolutely terrifying, but also extremely exciting. And I just can't wait for what the next year of my life looks like. I think that I've grown so much as a person in this past year. I think that I have so many new things that I'm excited about that I couldn't have even fathomed a year ago. And yeah, that was the 10 biggest lessons that I learned in my first year post-grad. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to like and subscribe. And like I said, if you have anything else that you want to add, please let me know in the comments below. I am here for it. I'm just here for a community of people who are trying to figure out what's to come, how to live their life in a healthy, lovely way. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.